Hey, Suzanne here with Caregiver Haven, and we have a couple of really great questions that were sent in by our members that I want to discuss today. And both of these touch on something so many of you are dealing with right now. That's exhaustion, crushing exhaustion that comes after big family events or holidays. So let's go ahead and dive in on these. All right, here's number one. Question number one. I just hosted Christmas dinner for my entire family, 18 people, including my mom who has dementia. Everyone told me it was perfect and they had such a wonderful time. But 3 days later, I'm still in my pajamas at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I haven't answered any text messages. I snapped at my husband when he asked what was for dinner. And I feel like the worst person in the world, and I'm not even helping my mom when I should. What's wrong with me? Am I being dramatic? This is Rachel in Tennessee. Rachel, first of all, the first thing you're not being dramatic, okay? Millions of people go through this every year after a holiday. It's called post-event depression. All right. It happens. It's an emotional letdown. And it's happening because your brain has been juggling so many different things for such a long time getting ready for this event. So 2-3 weeks before Christmas, your brain is pumping out massive amounts of adrenaline and cortisol just to keep going and planning everything. And now all of a sudden doesn't have it anymore. Those stress hormones kept you functioning like a superhero. Why do you think people go on honeymoons after their wedding? They've got to have this, they've got to have a letdown, but it can't be depression, right? So your brain chemistry is just kind of pooped out, for lack of a better word. And that's why even the simplest tasks, like answering a text, is going to feel impossible. You're going to snap at people. You're going to be empty, is basically what it comes down to. So here's what I need you to do right now. First, stop calling yourself the worst person in the world. You're exhausted, and that's a difference. Also, tell your husband exactly what's happening. Say, I'm just not okay right now. I just need some time to recoup what we just went through. It's not a emergency, but it is a medical recovery problem or period. And it's just time to get out from under what you've experienced. I've got a kind of a cheat sheet or a bonus tool for you below that explains all of this and what you can do and how you're going to get this rest and how you're not going to feel like this is such an emotional problem every time we have a holiday. So click on that. All right. And think about just one event that you could skip that doesn't have to make it perfect for next year or for the next holiday, and you'll feel the letdown won't be as great. Eventually, you'll work your way out of it. Okay, so let's look at question number two. Question number two is, okay, my dad passed away 6 weeks ago. Okay, that's a big event, right? We had a beautiful funeral. Over 100 people came to celebrate his life. My 3 siblings all flew in from out of state, and we spent a week together, which was actually really special. But now they're all back to their normal lives, calling me once a week to check in. Meanwhile, I can't sleep. I have zero appetite, and I keep avoiding my friends because I don't want to be around people. My sister texted me yesterday asking if I'm still sad and said I should get back out there. What's wrong with grieving? Should I be better by now? And this is Tom in Arizona. No, Tom, I'm sorry to hear about your dad, but no, you shouldn't have to jump right back. Let me explain something that's going on. You experienced not one, but two major emotional things that have occurred. Okay, the first one is the massive grief and trauma that has happened right at the loss of your father, who maybe you've been taking care of all these years. Maybe you were really close to, who knows, but it was very traumatic. And you had to put together this huge, huge funeral. You hosted it, you coordinated it. That was your second event. You poured everything into it, honoring your dad properly. And the siblings got to go home and they got to go back to their normal routines. You didn't get to escape that hatch. You're still looking around wondering where your dad is. You're looking at the things that you have to do now to put his stuff away, take care of it, get the estate closed. Your brain is not only processing the loss, it's exhausted from managing everything. And the third thing it's looking at, think about this, is now who's going to close out the estate? Probably you. So you've got three things here that you massively have been put into your emotional and your mental, I should say, mind that you have to take care of. So, what you're describing, you can't sleep, no appetite, avoiding people, these are classic signs of complicated grief combined with this post event emotional letdown that we talk about and see in millions of people. Your brain is depleted from the stress hormones. You're socially isolated after a week of intense family connection, and you're trying to process the loss without any support system physically present. Here's what your sister doesn't understand: grief doesn't follow a timeline. Tom, we all grieve differently. Everybody has their own way of doing this. And 6 weeks is nothing. Some people need 6 months, some need 6 years. I'm telling you, grief is something, depending on the person we took care of and how long we miss them, each of us do it differently. So don't let anybody tell you to stop grieving. You can't. We'll do it in our own time. First thing you need to do, though, is you need to contact with at least one person every single day. Maybe not your siblings, that doesn't count. You need a friend or a neighbor that you can have coffee with, take a walk with, or just sit quietly with. 10 minutes really do count. 10 minutes is all you need. Second, get yourself back on a basic routine. Set an alarm, eat one meal a day, even if you're not hungry. Take that 10-minute walk outside. Get yourself back into one routine, not your whole life. Okay. And sometimes you just need a grief counselor. And if your loved one died through hospice, and they have free grief counseling that you can talk to. There's also virtual mental health that you can talk to somebody and you can figure out what your grief looks like and what you need to do. They'll surprise you because they will give you very specific things to do that will help you tremendously. But download the social connection tracker below. It's got the way that we grieve. It's got the things to look at, what we need to do when we're grieving and exhausted. You don't need big social events or anything like that. You just need a human connection again, and that's what this bonus tool gives you. So if any of these situations feel familiar, just head over to caregiverhaven.com, grab some of these free tools or click below, and let these tools help you. See what you need. I've seen it thousands of times. You're not alone in this. You can fix this. Take care, and we'll talk soon.